Why is Royal High so boring, so stale, so lackluster? I want to discuss some of my reasons as to why I think that is, and why I don't think there's anything that's going to save it. Now, obviously, I have been talking about bits and pieces about Royal High and the new changes that it plans on bringing to the game, but I just feel like something is always and forever going to be missing. I think the developers and many people in the community have forgotten what Royal High used to be. And I'm talking about like the newer players of Royal High who are just now starting to play Royal High, don't exactly know the history or the story behind Royal High and what it used to be. As I've stated many times before, Royal High is in fact a roleplay game before a dress-up game. Yes, you do dress up your characters and do all that fun jazz, but the original purpose of this game was to roleplay. And it seems like that main element has been stripped, if not removed, from this game entirely. And I don't exactly know what could be done to change this. I'm not exactly sure if Royal High needs to implement more updates with roleplay in mind, or they need to bring back some of the old events or some of the old things that we used to do. I'm not exactly sure. To be honest, I don't think anything that Royal High does from this point on is going to bring back what Royal High used to be. Obviously, if Royal High didn't get any updates and it was the same Royal High when it was first released, nobody would be playing this game today. And of course, I've always give credit where credit is due when it comes to the updates in Royal High. I have to say, with the current updates that are entering into the game, with the new school, new diamond sets, new clothes sets, new dolls and stuff like that, are a decent way to push the game in the right direction. And especially with the new school room, which is actually promoting roleplay back in the game. So obviously Royal High developer teams are doing something right. But I've also talked about how that's not nearly enough to bring back what Royal High was in its prime. And I don't really think there'll be any updates or anything that can better roleplay and better Royal High. I don't know how to describe it. I just always feel like every time I'm playing this game, I'm missing something crucial, something important, but I can't exactly put my finger on it. I'm not exactly sure if it's because most of the main events in the game have been removed, or if because the diamond sets are more expensive now, or is it because the toy sets, all of the good clothes and sets are locked behind toy sets? I'm not exactly sure completely. To be honest though, I don't have any hatred towards this game. As I previously stated before, this game will forever and always be my childhood. Even if it goes into the pits of the darkness, even if it falls in a deep hole, I will still love this game down bad. There's just certain aspects of this game that I could never fully disengage from. Even if I stop playing for a month or a year or maybe even a century, I always feel like this needs to come back to this game and see basically where it's at, what it's doing now. And even though that Royal High is just now starting to get back up on its feet again, it could most definitely go downhill. Now, I know people are asking, why am I suddenly making this video now? And why did I decide to talk about this now? Mainly because I've been seeing other people in the Royal High community and people who were in the Royal High community talking about what Royal High used to be, its prime, its most peak moment, and why it's no longer in its prime anymore. Why many Royal High creators, myself included, feel very drained when it comes to Royal High. I feel like most of us who are still in the community, and I'm talking about old players here, most of us who are still sticking with Royal High despite everything that it's been through, all of its controversy and backlash, and pretty much everything that Royal High has been through, we've been sticking through thick and thin. There's a very small community that are sticking strong with this game, while others have quite literally left this game and abandoned it. But I just feel like for those who did stick around for this game despite everything that it went through, we have our own reasons for staying in this community, and we have our own reasons why we still play this game, even though everything has pretty much fallen down and been basically destroyed with Royal High. There's still a good handful of people who still log on and play this game. Maybe not every day, but they still log on and play and grind or role play or pretty much do whatever they want to do on this game. And I just feel like what really makes it very draining at times is the community. and basically everything that the current players are saying about it and the past players that used to play this game. Now, some of which are good, some of which are like compliments of the new updates in the game, while others are a lot of hate, negativity. And I've always said how you have every right to be upset and angry and frustrated over a game that you really, really love, that's been your childhood. I should know this game might not have been my childhood, but it is a game that has a special place in my heart. It really did shape who I am today. Really just enjoying the aspects of role playing, and this game was really able to hone in on that role playing aspect of myself. So there's definitely a lot of frustration when it comes to the future updates of Royal High and what they plan on doing. Most of the stuff that they have done already, I'm not too pleased with, and a lot of people have a lot to say about it, not so much good things. And it does get a little bit draining, a little frustrating seeing all of those negative comments in such a mean, hurtful way, and it really does feel draining at times. Now, obviously, I don't really care about it too much because I really am just here for the ride. I'm not really doing a deep dive on everybody's thoughts and opinions on it because I pretty much heard everybody's thoughts and opinions on it. Everybody has their pros, everybody has their cons, and I feel like for most people there's more cons than pros, and then there's other people who say they have more pros and cons when it comes to this game. And to be quite honest, I don't really care about other people's thoughts and opinions because at the end of the day, if you don't like the game, if you obviously feel like they're not listening or they're not giving you the time of day, you have every right to simply just leave. You don't have to play the game. You're not forced to play the game. I know it can be a little frustrating because this is a game that you grew up with, but if obviously there's no change in the game and you realize this and you're getting visibly upset about it, maybe it's just best that you simply leave the community. And when I say that, I don't really care about other people's thoughts and opinions because other people's thoughts and opinions do matter, and I feel like they matter more when it comes to the community of Royal High and how important it is to basically voice your thoughts and opinions on it, voice your own reasonings as to why you still play this game to this day and what they need to improve on, and not feel afraid to basically voice your own opinions to the developers and other people about what's happening in the game, what's going on in the game, and what needs to be fixed immediately. I feel like the Royal High developers need to hear that feedback whether they want to or not, because it's going to help better grow the game in the future. It's going to help the game flourish, bloom, and hopefully maybe not completely go back to its prime, but at least get to a certain point where they're kind of stable. They're not popular, but they're not in the dumps either. And obviously Royal High isn't completely in the dumps, but you could tell it's slowly getting there. Every day it's a different thing. I always feel like in these types of games, especially in Royal High, I really am just the voice of reason. I don't really have a side. I'm pretty much on the fence. I'm neutral. I don't really have anything negative to say about Royal High. In fact, I try to find like the silver lining and look at the glass half full rather than half empty, instead of trying to nitpick at everything that Royal High is doing wrong, because I definitely see what Royal High is trying to do for the game and the betterment of the game and its players, but it does make it a lot tricky and hard at times, especially for new players. Especially, it's not a fun time to play this game. I feel like I've always been thinking about how I wanted to start a new Let's Play series on basically starting over in Royal High, but I feel like seeing other people who have done that challenge, and some have definitely succeeded while others have either just discontinued it or given up on it completely. And I just feel like seeing those people play Royal High in 2025 from start to finish, it's definitely frustrating to see, not because of what they're doing. It's mostly about what you're given at the beginning of the game. You're not given much. You're not given a lot of diamonds. I think you're given like 50 diamonds at most to basically get you a couple of snacks from the vending machine. That's pretty much it. You don't have enough to get any of the resources or tools necessary to do your quest, like toothbrush or the brush or the vacuum cleaner, which do cost diamonds, and they're not cheap. They do cost a little bit of diamond. And then on top of that, at the beginning, you only get one quest to do each time. So usually if you've like leveled up your character to a certain amount, you would have unlocked it all 3 slots for your quest. But when you first start off, you only get 1 quest each, basically 60 minutes or so. And if it's one of those quests where it requires you to either brush your teeth or brush your hair or use the vacuum cleaner to vacuum up your dorm, you basically can't do that. And it really is frustrating to see because it doesn't seem like Royal High cares too much about its new players, and they're really just trying to focus on keeping the players that they have now instead of working on getting in new players, because this game is not beginner friendly. It's not for beginners. You have to have some sort of leverage unless you have a friend or somebody like that who plays this game that can trade with you, some diamonds, some resources, some stuff like that. Other than that, this game is not for beginners. And I feel like if I was to play Royal High as a beginner player, I didn't know anything about Royal High, I don't know the lore or anything about it, and I start playing Royal High in 2025, I feel like I would have given up on this game a long time ago, because it's just a game that really does feel draining. It doesn't feel worth it to play because everything costs diamond. Everything, down to your dorms, which you don't really have to spend too much, but you still have to spend. If you want your character to eat food and gain up their hunger, you have to buy food and snacks at the vending machine. You have to spend diamonds. And it's not like a measly just 5 diamonds. You have to spend probably like 10, 12, probably even more diamonds just to get the basic necessities in this game. And you don't even start out with 100 or 200 diamonds. You literally get 50 diamonds to start off with. No multipliers, no nothing. It's just basic. And it really is just tiring and frustrating to see that there is no change for that. And at times it does feel a little lackluster for me, because I definitely want new players to enjoy this as much as old players. But back to the main question that I brought back at the beginning of this video is, why does Royal High feel so boring and stale? Now, this is only my thoughts and opinions on it. Obviously, other people are going to feel differently, and some people may feel like the game is actually thriving right now. Some people who are now just playing the game might feel like this is the step in the right direction, and I'm not saying that it isn't, but it definitely feels like a lot of the aspects that made Royal High have been removed entirely, and it makes the game so much more bare bones. You can see all of the cracks on this game when you really just strip all of that away. All of the previous events that we've had in this game, Snow Globe Summit and Wickery Cliffs and all of those other holiday related events have been stripped and removed. And even the old realm, the old Enchanted High, which my own personal unpopular opinion, I don't really like Enchanted High. I don't really like that realm, to be honest. It's not my most favorite realm personally, but it was still history in Royal High. And obviously I want the game to update. I want the game to continue to make updates and thrive, but at the same time I don't want them to remove certain aspects that a lot of players enjoyed. I enjoyed Wickery Cliffs. I enjoyed Snow Globe Summit. I really do regret not being able to play those realms one last time before they got removed entirely. I don't know if they are ever going to bring those realms back, but remaster it a little bit. I'm not exactly sure. I have low doubts and hopes for that. And to be honest, Royal High is never going to be the same as it was before. It's just not going to happen. No matter if they did bring back the old Royal High simply is not going to be what it used to be, especially after everything that's happened to it so far. You can't just erase that just because you add a couple of new updates or new realms. It's never going to feel the same. And that's why, not even recently, but that's why I have basically backed off from the game entirely. I honestly just didn't want to feel drained from this game. And that's why I took the time to basically step away, to say, hey, I'm going to take this moment to let Royal High do what it needs to do. And whatever happens, happens. Some things I may not want the game to change, and some things I'd want them to change, but obviously that's not going to happen unless people voice their own opinions in a calm and respectful manner. Like, I understand you're upset and you're furious and all this extra stuff, but you still have to be respectful. You still have to be kind, because these are still humans. These are still people behind the developer team that makes Royal High. So you still want to be kind and respectful about that. But at the same time, I just feel like I don't know what Royal High would need to do. I don't have a solution for it, because I feel like even if Royal High brought back the old realms, the old events, pretty much everything about Royal High, it's not going to be the same. It's not going to feel the same, and it's not going to look the same, because this is what Royal High is now. This is their new branding. This is who they are now. And you can't just change that just because you added new clothes or a new realm or something like that, or a new roleplay mechanic. You know, like, that's not simply going to change and disappear just because of that. And as sad as that is, that's just the real fact of it all. I'm not gonna stop playing Royal High. I feel like because I'm getting older, a lot of old players are getting older, and they are no longer feeling that childhood attachment to this game. But for old players who still play this game just for the memories and keepsakes, that's where I kind of stand in everything. Is this game is memories for me. These hold past mistakes, past excitements, past everything. And as I stated before, how it shaped me into the person I am today, I, despite not enjoying what it's turned into now, still love and care for this game despite all. And of course, I'm going to continue to want it to grow and thrive in the best way possible. But I've already come to this conclusion, and a lot of people, new players and old players alike, have come to this conclusion that Royal High will never be the same that it was before. There's no amount of fixing or anything new that's brought into the game that's ever going to change that fact. And I don't exactly know what's missing, but I think because I'm no longer a child anymore. I'm no longer a little girl who plays dress-up game. And that's really why I wanted to make this video. It's a sad and hard realization to realize that I'm no longer the little girl I used to be, playing this game 24/7, being so excited to come home from school, to jump on the computer and play this game. And hey, I think that just means I am growing up, I'm getting older, and I'm not gonna always want to play dress-up games on Royal High. I'm not gonna always want to play role-playing games, and they still hold a special place in my heart, but they're not my main priority anymore. And I know this whole thing got a little bit deep, and I was probably going on a tangent, rambling, and you guys are probably like, girl, get to the point. But this is all I wanted to just talk about into this video. I just wanted to kind of be open and transparent about my feelings on this, which I've been doing a lot, but I really feel like that's the reason why I don't really make a lot of videos on Royal High, and that's why I'm trying to branch out and seek out other games that are kind of similar to Royal High, but not really. Mostly about the role-playing aspect, not the dress-up aspect. But yeah, I think that's all I really wanted to talk about and discuss. As always, let me know down below your thoughts and opinions on it as well. I would love to hear them. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. Remember, these are my thoughts and opinions, and I would love to hear yours. And I will see you guys all in this video. Bye, everyone.